You know, at the end of the day, it's all great, but, you know, we still have a job to do. I still, you know, have a goal in mind, and that's win a World Series.
Cal, it's good to be on a field where we're not afraid of the sun right now. How grueling was that series in Chicago for all of you?
Yeah, it was really hot. I mean, you know, obviously being in the Pacific Northwest, we get some nice summer, some nice weather. So obviously not used to that heat, you know, but both teams were having to deal with it. And I think you saw it in game 2, you know, Trent and the bat boy and umpire all went down. So it's kind of crazy how hot it was.
How much fluid do you drink to get ready for something like that? Are we talking gallons? What are we talking?
No, I mean, you just drink a normal amount of water. So water, and you mix in some electrolytes, and you know, make sure you get enough salt and eating, you know, and you don't want to drink too much because then, you know, you overdo it. And so there's a right amount.
What happened between game 2 and game 3 as these things fly around? You're welcome to
I know,
right? Some Midwest something seed pod or something has exploded here. Game 2 looked just absolutely miserable for you guys, and obviously you're not used to that. You had the wind, you had the extreme heat, and game 3 you guys came back and it was like, okay, we're going to play the conditions here. And you guys, I know that's the game that you have to play at Wrigley, you have to put your foot on the gas, but you guys didn't let up. Was there kind of something you took from game 2 into game 3, and maybe just even recognizing, okay, this is what it is, that helped?
I mean, yeah, we had, you know, I think it was big jumping on them early. Obviously, you know, that ballpark, no lead safe. So just keeping the foot on the gas, and we were able to, you know, create some traffic and create some runs, and obviously, you know, hit a few balls up in the air. And when you get the wind blowing out like that, it's usually going to do you some favors. So we were able to do that, get that done, and get some people on for some traffic. So that was huge, and you know, got a good enough start from Logan. And you know, if you ask him, he probably was not too happy about it, but you know, it wasn't terrible at all.
He wasn't. He had 18 swing and miss. It looked like the slider and the splitter were working well for him, and he wasn't happy after the game.
Yeah, but you don't want your guys to ever be happy. So
you'll make sure they're not. Is that what it is? Okay. Hey, what's it like? What does it feel like? What is it just? I mean, I think it's one of the ultimates in a game situation in baseball to literally hit a ball out of a ballpark. What is that? You did that at Wrigley. What was that moment like for you?
I didn't even know it was out of the ballpark until seeing the video later. So pretty cool experience, and you know, it's kind of a cool bucket list. I don't even know if it's on the bucket list, but you get to say you did it. So kind of like there, and hit one out of Fenway, and pretty cool, right?
Yeah, you need to open up the roof in Houston, hit one out there too. That's one of the possibilities.
It's too hot there for that.
Rather have it closed. So when we did this last week, you were kind of in a spot. I don't know if you would term it a struggle or not. It was, I believe, 7 games without a home run, which is very human, to say the least. I thought you were a little grumpy last week. I don't know if that's true or not. What were there things that you were trying to accomplish, or that kind of trying to hurdle to get over, or was that just kind of a normal span for you right there?
No, I mean, I think home runs come in bunches. I think that's how it goes, you know, especially for me, and I think that happens to a lot of guys. You know, you see Dom Canzone right now. He's got a good bunch of homers going. Solano had a nice little bunch of homers the other day. So it's kind of funny how baseball works, you know, when it's, you know, you can get pitched really tough there for a stretch, and then for a stretch, it seems like everything you get is in the middle of the plate. So it's just kind of how the game goes. It comes in waves like that. So, yeah, you just, you know, kind of ride out those waves, and you got to be ready for when you do get those mistakes. But you also have to understand, you know, when you are and aren't getting pitches to hit. So I'm not getting too frustrated with that.
Was that a situation where you weren't getting pitches to hit?
I was talking to the hitting coaches, and I did think I was getting pitched a little tough. And, you know, you start looking for answers. You start searching a little bit, but, you know, in reality, like you said, nobody hits good pitching. So when you're facing good arms and they're locating and they're executing their pitches, then sometimes you just got to tip the cap and realize that, hey, it's not me. It's baseball. It's how it's going. And it seemed like that was kind of going on with the whole team. It wasn't just me. We were getting some bad luck there. We were, felt like we would throw it well, and then, have that one hit fall into the other team that we just couldn't seem to get. So that's just kind of how baseball is sometimes.
How good was it to see Julio hit that home run last night?
Yeah, it was good. He went down and got it. I think it was a changeup below zone. One Bailey Ober's better pitches. So, it was good. He had a good game. Big two RBI double as well. So, big game to get him rolling and try to get him get a few more of those. It'd be great.
He's so capable of that. It's not the easiest thing to do. You know more than anybody. Do you think maybe getting that feel a little bit? And I've seen him put in the work. He's been in the cages quite a bit, particularly the last few days. What do you think that does for him?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's nice to see one off the bat go out of the park, right? And you get that feeling and you get that confidence, and it's a funny game once you gain a little confidence and you get that kind of swagger back, and you get just get that feeling, and then you can kind of start rolling. So, hopefully that can, propel him and him start hitting some balls out of the park. And it's always good when guys are hitting balls like that. So it's a contagious thing, I think. You see a few guys starting to hit really well and things are rolling. So just gotta keep it going, keep your head down, and keep continuing to get better.
He said something interesting last night. He said you guys are playing to your identity right now. And I think that when we all saw kind of the offense in April and the power, we thought, well, it's early right now, but you're showing again as a team that you can do that. How much identity is the offense a part of the entire picture right now? And going forward, do you think that is a big part of who you guys are right now?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think if we want to be that complete team, then we do have to show up every day offensively. Obviously, like I said, you're not going to be perfect every day, and there's going to be days when you're not getting those extra base hits, or the luck's not falling your way. But you need to show up every single day, and we need to be a consistent offense that puts pressure on the defense and on pitching staffs. And that starts with the top of the order getting on base, setting the tone for the middle of the lineup. And what the bottom part has been doing is really good too. So they've been kind of turning it over really well, and doing the little things like we always talk about, running the bases well, stealing bags, putting pressure on them, putting balls in play with 2 strikes. So when we're doing that, we're a really good team. It's just how consistently can you do it, and just showing that every single night, and knowing that if we do that, we're going to be where we want to be.
Your consistency has been there throughout the season, and that's something that you pointed to, and you staying the same, and the results should be the same, and ultimately kind of month by month, we're seeing that sort of. We're also seeing the numbers actually improve. We, in June, have seen your strikeout rate take a dive. We have seen the power where it is. We've seen you hit more balls in the air. We've also seen you with fewer pitches per plate appearance. How much of what you are trying to do right now is kind of your plan when you get to the plate, and how much adjustment on your part is going on, knowing that they're going to adjust to you, that you're kind of the guy in that lineup right now?
Yeah, I mean, it's always that cat and mouse that we talk about, right? With, the league adjusting to you adjusting to the league, and it's constantly, going back and forth. So, but I think at the end of the day, it's baseball, and you want to be ready to hit the pitches that you need to do damage to, and that's usually around the heart of the plate, and understanding yourself as a hitter. What do I like to look for, and combining that, and really just being ready to go every single pitch, because you never know what's going to be the first pitch or sixth pitch of an at-bat that you're going to get that mistake that you got to be ready for, and you don't want to miss it, and you want to be timed up and ready to go for it.
So are you just seeing that earlier in at-bats now? Is that why you're...
Yeah, I mean, like we were talking about earlier, you just kind of it goes through phases, feels like, there'll be a week-long stretch of first pitches in the heart of the plate, and then there'll be a week-long stretch of first pitches that aren't even close to the edges, and they're executing. So it's just how it goes. It's just about being ready, and being ready for where you want the ball, and then if it's not there, just shutting it down. So
How much of that, your team has that too? You guys have got the most first pitch home runs right now in baseball. Has that kind of been ingrained into? Has there been eye-opening? Are guys looking at what you're doing and seeing that? I mean, how much has that played into and planning for that matter?
Yeah, I mean, I think I've always been taught from a young age to be ready to go first pitch. And, I think that kind of falls into what every pitcher wants to do, right? Most pitchers in the league, they want to get ahead, and it's no secret. It's kind of what makes pitchers successful. So, being timed up, being ready to go, knowing what you're looking for early in the at bat. Try to stay out 2 strikes, right? Because 2 strikes are it's hard for anybody. It doesn't matter how good you are in the league to hit with 2 strikes. Obviously, it's going to happen around 50% of the time, over a course of a season for every hitter usually. But if you can stay out of those counts and be ready to hit early, you could be in a good spot.
Where would you say you are right now? What spot are you in? When you look, and I don't know if you look at your numbers at all, but what do you like about what you were doing? What do you like about your at-bats right now?
I think I'm just, I look back on each day and I'm really just focusing on my approach and really just checking boxes in that sense, in the sense of each day, was I committed to my approach? Did I go out and execute what I was trying to do? And the result is what it is. It goes back to swinging good pitches, being ready to go, being on time, staying through the middle of the field, things like that. And really not worrying about the rest of it. But if I can control those things and doing those things right, then I know that the numbers will be where I want them to be at the end of the day. But, did I go up there and did I accomplish what I was trying to do in those pitches that I saw? And, sometimes it's yes, sometimes it's no. And if it's no, you go back and look and you adjust and tell yourself why. And then you usually go back to what makes you a good player. And that's adjusting your sights, thinking more center field, maybe trying to make more contact and not trying to drive the ball as much. So,
do you find yourself getting back to that quicker than you have in the past if you get off base a little bit?
Yeah, a lot quicker. It's just learned. I've learned over time. It's my swing is my swing, and a lot of the time it's not because I messed up or it's not because my swing's bad. It's just because maybe I came off my approach, or maybe the pitcher just made a really good pitch and he got me out and he got tipped the cap sometimes. So there's just a lot more consistency in my approach and my day-to-day rather than constantly having to change something or go down different paths or reasons why I'm getting out. When in reality, there are usually a couple reasons why.
We're going to talk about the home runs. I don't know why we tiptoe around you about it, but we do. Yesterday was huge. I mean, Ken Griffey Jr. didn't do it. Alex Rodriguez didn't do it. You put up your 3rd straight 10 home run month. They had them, but not consecutively. When you are on that kind of a roll, and it's not even a roll. This is who you are right now. This is what you are doing. How do you kind of compartmentalize or kind of put into perspective what you are doing with the home run right now?
I don't really think about it too much, honestly. I mean, I guess it's hard not to see it and realize what's going on, but, I think it's one of those things where, as long as I'm helping the team and I'm accomplishing what I want to do in the box and, I'm dying on my terms, then, I'm okay with what the results are. So, like I said, home runs come and go and they're cool. And, but right now I'm just, each day I just kind of reset and get back to the mentality of, what can I do today, help my team win, and just realize, nothing is going to be given to you today. You got to go out and earn it. You got to be ready to go. And that's kind of the mentality I'm just taking into it.
You're far too young to have remembered the big home run chases, but are they things that you've ever kind of kept an eye on? I mean, obviously we were just in Chicago. Sammy Sosa came back. That's before your time. Bonds, he might have been just a little guy when he did what he did. There's the number 61 in the American League, and Judge got it, topped it 2 years ago. Right. What are kind of the numbers that just kind of, as a fan, had jumped out at you?
Yeah, I mean, I remember seeing Bonds when I was young, the early 2000s. That's right around the time where I could start comprehending and understanding baseball and watching it on TV. And obviously what he was doing was ungodly in another universe. So, was really special. And you know, the Sosa McGuire, they were right around the time where I was a little kid, or really young, on 2, about when that race went on, 1 and 2 years old. So, but they came out with that big documentary a couple of years ago. I believe 30 for 30 did it. And I got to watch it, and it was incredible, and it's just so cool. It's so great for the sport of baseball, right? Mm-hmm. Just, you know, that whole thing, and getting people to watch it, and, you know, how invested they were, and how cool it was, too, because they were in the same division, and they were going at each other, yeah. And, you know, it was a really cool thing, and just great for baseball.
How much fun are you having with what you're doing? I mean, it's fun seeing you. You're no longer a Northwest secret. We're seeing you on everything. You got some free ice cream out of it the other day. I mean, what part of that does that play in your day, your year, and in your experience?
Yeah, I mean, it's cool just because, you know, not only am I getting to, you know, meet all these cool people and do these cool things, but, you know, we're getting exposure for the Mariners and, you know, the city of Seattle, which I think is awesome, and, you know, doing that. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's all great, but, you know, we still have a job to do. I still, you know, have a goal in mind, and that's win a World Series. And, you know, it's nice and all, and it's great, and I want to help the team out as much as I can. You obviously want to have, you know, individually, everybody has their goals and what they want to do, and they want to be the best they can be, and that's kind of how I see it as well. And I want to do the best I can, but, you know, focusing on the day-to-day and being in the moment and not worrying about all that stuff is the most important thing. And like I said, you know, I'll be, you know, genuinely happy when we win a World Series, and that's kind of where my head's at. So
that's the number one, right?
That's right.
That's the one number on your mind.
That's right.
One last question for you before we get to something really fun at the end of this. Important stretch you guys are on right now, 17 straight. What do you want to see from this team in that stretch?
Yeah, 17 straight games, tough. You know, it'll be a good test for us, and really just looking for the consistency. You know, kind of where we're at. You know, we're playing some good baseball right now, and we just gotta keep it rolling. You know, gotta keep our head down. Got to show up every single day, and got to keep putting together these good at bats, these good games, these good outings for pitchers. So, you know, I think that's just the big thing. It's just consistently knowing what we're going to get every day. And obviously, baseball, you're not going to win every day. It's no secret. But, you know, if we can consistently show up as an offense, if we can consistently show up as a pitching staff every single day and do our jobs, then I really like where we're going to be at the end of the day. But like I said, it's just consistently day in, day out, you know, knowing what we're going to get from our guys. And that's kind of what I'll be looking for these, you know, next 14 games that we have remaining on this, 13 games on this long stretch.
Wherever we are.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Somewhere under the sun. The last thing that I mentioned is Cal has suggested this. You're ready to take some audience questions, some listener viewer questions, right?
Let's do it.
All right, so there it is, the invitation. Go ahead and hit me up on social media at Shannon Drayer, questions for Cal on the Cal Raleigh Show. And we're going to try to get to a few of them on an upcoming show. So Cal, thank you.
That'll be great. Thank you.